Hello everyone, I'm Emma and this is Sketchy Ed, where I discuss and review all things dark, creepy and disturbing. In today's video, I'll be reviewing the Shudder original Random Acts of Violence, a very fitting title for this gruesome 80-minute slasher. Released in 2020, this was directed by Jay Baruchel, who you may recognize for his acting roles in comedies such as She's Out of My League, This Is the End, and Knocked Up. He also co-stars in this and co-wrote the screenplay alongside Jesse Chabot. The story follows Todd, the author and artist of an X-rated comic book series called The Slasher Man. While on a road trip to promote the final issue of the series, Todd is confronted by the realization that there's a killer who's reenacting the murders from his comic. This dark and gory slasher stars Jesse Williams as our protagonist Todd. Accompanying him on his road trip is his girlfriend Kathy, played by Jordana Brewster, his business partner and publisher Ezra, played by Jay Baruchel, and his assistant Aora, played by Neve Wilson. Adapted from a graphic novel of the same name, Random Acts of Violence centers around the theme of life imitating art, specifically whether violence in entertainment inspires violence in the real world. It poses a question of if someone commits a violent crime inspired by something they see, read, or hear, does the creator of the content bear any of the blame? The film also touches on our culture's fascination and sometimes obsession with serial killers and how the victims are often exploited or forgotten. Unfortunately, I felt like the point the film was trying to make didn't quite hit the mark and it left me with mixed feelings. So let's start off with some of the positives. Where this movie truly thrives is in its technical aspects. Firstly, the cinematography is stunning, with many of the scenes being illuminated with bold, vivid colors. As well as being visually pleasing, the use of these colored, light-drenched scenes also serves the theme by giving it a comic book feel. The musical score has a kind of retro synth vibe which perfectly complements the look and feel of the cinematography. It really helps to set the suspenseful atmosphere, and I felt like it was definitely a nod to the slasher era of the 80s. And then there's the kill scenes. Wow. These were actually really well done. Incredibly brutal and realistic. Some of the staging of the victims gave me major Dexter vibes. Did anyone else feel that, or was that just me? For the Dexter fans out there, the first kill in particular felt very Doomsday Killer-esque to me. The film definitely nails it with the dark and disturbing imagery. The acting was also pretty good across the board. All of the main cast played their roles well. I thought that the relationship between Todd and Kathy in particular felt authentic and real. There's a few scenes that I thought were brilliantly acted between the two of them and I felt was very engaging. Okay, so now I guess it's time to talk about the negatives. The major downfall of this film for me was the plot. The story just feels messy and there were multiple moments where I quite honestly felt pretty disengaged. I think part of this comes from the message it's trying to convey. Is this a social commentary or a gruesome slasher film? In its attempt to try and do both, it comes across as shallow and disjointed. In addition to this, the ending was also pretty disappointing. I felt like there was quite a few questions left unanswered, plot holes that I couldn't make sense of, and parts of it that just felt silly. I think the major issue is that the film takes itself too seriously, but lacks the depth to pull it off. Unfortunately, there's no amount of beautiful visuals that can save a film with a weak plot. By the time the final credits started to roll, I just felt like this was meh. So now it's time for my final overview and score. Random Acts of Violence is a dark and gruesome serial killer film with a promising concept. However, due to its underdeveloped storyline and characters, it flounders, leaving the viewer feeling unsatisfied. Its serious tone and theme doesn't quite mesh up with what we see play out on screen. Although it's visually pleasing and its technical aspects are really quite impressive, ultimately it's its lack of depth and its weak ending that drags it down. I give this a score of 5 out of 10. Wow, look at me go. 2 average film reviews in a row. Who do I think I am? Has anyone else seen this film yet? If so, let me know in the comments below what you thought about it. Did you agree with me or was I too harsh? Let me know. On a positive note though, I finally got Shudder. Yay! Unfortunately, this was the first film that I watched, but I'm still excited to jump into the library and see what they've got. Does anyone have any recommendations? Let me know. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.